Hi guys, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be talking about how I got into OCS. Okay, first of all, I just want to start off by saying that I'm just an officer cadet. I recently came out of BMTC as a recruit, and I'm only in Common Leadership Module CLM for 2 weeks in OCS. So I'm really probably the most unqualified person to be talking about how I get into OCS. But I'll just be sharing some of my insights that I feel will affect your chances into getting into OCS. I believe that by recognizing and being aware of what exercises and what kind of activities that are important, you will be able to kind of focus and prioritize your energy and efforts into those activities that will further increase your chances into getting to command school. So without further ado, let's not waste any more time. Let's dive straight into the first thing, peer appraisal. So there's going to be, at this point of your journey in BMT, right, there will be a point where everyone in your section will have to rank each other according to how resilient you are and how much of a leader this person is. So I believe that the top few person ranked in the section will stand a higher chance of getting into command school. So the question now is, how do we score better for peer appraisal? I mean, honestly, this kind of things, right, you can't fake it, because your pattern, right, or your character or your values will very easily be shown in 2 to 3 months time. You're sleeping, shitting, bathing, eating, going through tough, strenuous activities with these people. It's very obvious for your colors to show lah. So first of all, right, my first advice is be yourself. You don't need to try to wayang or like fake in front of your sergeants or your sir or your section mates. Just be who you are. The second advice for you is to try to work on yourself. Recognize that you have flaws and try to see what are your weaknesses, what are your strengths, and in terms of your character, right, what kind of things that you want to develop in the next 2 to 3 months in your BMT, and strive towards it. So for example, for me, right, I really wanted to work on being a better leader, and I also wanted to work on my physical strength. So I had to be more disciplined now, and I had to make sure that I uphold my values properly, and I also have to work hard every single night, to train my body so that I can go for my IPPT lah. So I had to work on my values, I had to work on being physically stronger, and I guess in a way this sort of motivation kind of inspired or motivated some of my bunkmates to also push themselves to get better scores for the IPPT. So I think this is how, personally for me, I helped to spur this energy in my bunkmates to work towards their goals out. So I guess in a way that kind of helped me score better for my peer appraisal, because I was quite driven, and it forced and helped motivate others to be driven too. So the next advice I would have to help your peer appraisal is to be genuinely helpful. So there was one guy in my section that I really respected, and he was always ready to offer his hand to help others when we were tired, or always being open to helping others lah. So in BMT, right, there are a lot of small things, right, that needs to be done, and most people are actually quite lazy to do it. So if you're able to step up, give a helping hand, right, people will kind of have a sense of appreciation towards you, and they will respect you because you're always helping them. So I believe this kind of respect that you have for this person, helps others look up to you, and it will also affect your appraisal. So just to recap the 3 things that will affect your appraisal: number 1, be yourself; number 2, try to work towards your goals, and that will inspire other people; maybe number 3, be genuinely helpful to others. Okay, the next one is sit test. So you might be thinking, what is sit test? So sit test is basically you have to complete this complete a mission, and it's literally like a playground now, where you have to do different missions, be it saving someone, or be it rescuing or solving puzzles and stuff like that. So this is something that you do in your field camp. The sit test is a test on your ability to lead, to delegate tasks, and to manage different things like time, resources, and such as your man and your weapon, and even stress. So how the sit test will work is that first of all, right, there will be a leader. There will be you and another guy who will be the leader of maybe 10 plus people. So you guys will be tasked to complete a mission, and you have about 15 minutes to do this entire mission lah. So the mission can range from saving an injured person to solving a puzzles and overcoming some obstacles. Okay, but for me, right, I had to, one side of the obstacle was that I had to save someone that was injured, another side I had to solve a puzzle. So the question is, how am I being evaluated? how do I manage my men, how do I manage my time. So there's so many questions, right? And sometimes throughout the entire mission, right, the instructors will add even more pressure by saying, oh, enemy incoming, or maybe more injuries are occurring. So this kind of gives more stress to the leaders, and I believe sit tests also see how the leader copes with stress and leads others, you know, in hard times lah. So I have some advice that can help you score better for your sit tests. Okay, so my first advice is that my OC sir, which is one of the commandos in Raven in my COI, said that it doesn't matter whether you fail or whether you pass the mission, but most importantly is whether you lift the morale of your team despite, you know, whether you fail or pass the mission lah. So at the end of the mission, right, everyone should feel like they accomplished something, they tried their best. So I think that's the kind of feeling that you want, you know, your people under you to feel when they are doing the mission. Okay, that's number one. Number two, you have to be very, very, very clear with what you have to do in this mission. So you have to read the instructions very clearly, know and understand everything about the instructions so that you can properly delegate tasks. Number three, do not take up too much time planning or delegating roles. I would rather you spend bulk of your time, right, executing the mission instead of, you know, spending bulk of your time on planning and delegating, because by spending more time on executing, it allows you to showcase your capabilities, right, to your evaluators. And it also increases your chances, right, of completing the mission because you have a lot more time to execute it, right? So another important thing that I feel is also you have to bring a watch, because you have to be very aware of how much time you have left. So for example, 15 minutes, right? And whenever it's like left 5 minutes, you have to emphasize and inform everyone that there's 5 minutes left, because there's a sense of urgency. If a leader is unable to keep track of time, right, he will not be able to meet the timer. And timing is something that is very important, you know, in the Singapore Armed Forces. So try to emphasize time to the men under you, because sometimes we get so involved with tasks that we forgot that we have to accomplish this mission by this time. So these are my advice for sit tests. And I believe that these are some of the things that a leader should have lah. Okay, yes. So the next one is IPPT. So IPPT consists of 3 exercises: push-ups, sit-ups, and 2.4 kilometer run. So my first IPPT score, right, before I even enlisted was 63. I passed by 1 mark. But my latest IPPT score is 85, and I managed to get gold. So if you're in BMT, right, and you're in Tekong, right, you'll most probably have to use Elise machine, which is a machine that helps you count the number of reps that you do for your push-ups and your sit-ups. So my advice for you to score and max your statics, which are push-ups and sit-ups, is to find machines that count half reps. Okay, so you can do half reps and even counts. But there are machines that are 40, are hard to use, right? They'll keep giving you no count even though you're doing proper form. So find those machines that help you, you know, score well, right? And in general, right, for BMT, you'll probably have 3 IPPT tests. So take this time, right, to get a feel of which machines are good and which machines are bad, right? And then go and use the machines that are good. So when you're doing these push-ups, right, for example, when you go down, right, go down slowly for the first time, for your first rep, and then once you feel the machine beep and vibrate, you know that the machine has counted your rep, and then you immediately push your body and balance your body at the exact same height where the machine vibrated, and then you just keep spamming at that part, and then you'll definitely max out your push-ups, right? Give it a try, take my advice, and try and find the machines that are good and do this, use this technique, alright? So the next advice is to train every day. You have to be consistent with your training. So usually every night after a BMT, right, your commanders will give you time to go and exercise. So take this time to go and train your statics, go and run for your 2.4, increase your stamina so that your body will be more used to, you know, push-ups, sit-ups, and it will definitely increase your IPPT score. So it takes consistency and effort to improve your IPPT score. Okay, so basically, right, the next advice for you is visualizing. So for example, for me, right, when I was running my 2.4 km route for the first time in Tekong, my timing was 12 minutes, right? On my next run, I managed to get 10 minutes and 30 seconds. I was blown away. How did I do it? But I realized that one thing that helped me was, before my run, right, I always visualize, okay, imagine, Chongyun, you're running the 2.4 km route. Every 400 meter, you see a sign, right? And then every time you see this sign, right, try to imagine, yes, I'm very, very tired, I'm breathless already, but every time you see this sign, try to push yourself a bit more try to push yourself a bit more. 400 meter, push myself more, run faster. 800 meter, run a bit faster. The left, the 2.2 kilometer, left 200 meter, sprint with all your energy. This sense of like, visualization, right, really happened when I was actually running my 2.4. I remember when I ran my next 2.4, I see the 400 meter, I ran faster. And this visualization really came into practice when I was actually running my next IPPT. So, visualize. And last but not least, right, keep improving your IPPT score. Okay, my score improved from 67 to 79 to 82. So this gradual increase in your score, right, really shows effort, and consistency, which I believe are some key metrics that, shows a lot about an individual. It shows a lot about, your sense of resiliency. You want to push yourself even though it's hard, right? And the next thing is BTB, Basic Trainfire Package. In order for you to get Marksman, you have to score 26 upon 32, right? So it seems a bit hard, right? But what are some of the techniques that you can apply to increase your chances of being a marksman? I've only shot the live firing range shoot once, so I might not even be the most capable person of telling you, but these things work for me, and I'm sharing with you how I got a marksman. So I got 28 upon 32, alright, I missed 4 shots. What helped me was, number 1, I visualized again the actual day of the shoot. I imagined how the weapon would recoil. I used 5 of all my senses, right, to feel how would it be like on the actual day of the shoot when I shoot the weapon. The smell, the scene, the feel. As I hold my weapon, I try to visualize everything. I even imagine myself shooting all the targets down. This really helped prepare me mentally and physically when I was actually there on the spot. I didn't feel as nervous. I felt calm because I already prepped my mind that I am ready for this, right? Ensure your weapon is zero properly. Sometimes, right, your weapon might not be zero, and when you shoot, right, it is inaccurate. So make sure that it is properly adjusted zero properly lah. So you will have a zeroing practice where you will adjust your weapon. Just make sure it's zero correctly. Next, I think this is very important. So the most common mistake that people have is that when they cock their weapon, they follow through when they're cocking. So this kind of makes the bullet get stuck. It will affect your nervousness, it will make you lose confidence, and it will make you panic and you miss your shots. So make sure that when you're cocking your weapon, try to cock your weapon, okay, and then release the charging handle, right? Don't follow through your charging handle, alright? So when you have no GIT problem, it will really help you score better, I feel. Next, use elbow guards, alright? Put elbow guards at the bottom because there'll be some of the shots where you have to prone and you have to use your elbow to support your gun, and it can be quite painful and sore if you rest the gun on your elbow. So just use the elbow guards. It helps also build stability. And then next, push your legs against the wall of the foxhole. So try to push against as close as to the wall. So this helps build stability when you shoot the weapon. And also bring the weapon as close to you as possible, like you're hugging it, right? Increases stability again. Use a sandbag as a support for your gun so that there's more stability. You realize that a lot of things are about stability because when you shoot the weapon, right, you don't want to move your body too much. You don't want to flip to one side, right? You want to have some stability so you can immediately get back and shoot the shot again. Or when you're shooting, you don't want to shake too much, so you have more stability, right? It really helps you to focus and shoot properly. Next, find the right breathing method for you. So for me personally, right, I like to breathe in, hold my breath. Okay, so for me, what I like to do is I like to breathe in, then I hold my breath there, and I shoot and I breathe out. Right. This method works for me. When I stop breathing, I'm able to be more balanced and I won't move as much, and my accuracy will be better. So I tend not to breathe, and then when I shoot, then I breathe out. So that is my breathing technique. Go and figure out what breathing technique works for you. There's proning, there's foxhole, there's even squatting position. So that you can either high kneel or you can squat. For me, squatting works. It works perfectly. So try to squat. I promise you that it will be, when you squat, right, try to push your elbows against your knee, and then when you shoot, there will be more stability. You won't shake as much, right? It will really help you to really shoot properly lah. Make sure that your laser is working in perfect condition, alright? If your laser is blurry, right, even after putting the battery, please go and change your weapon. Try to request for a change weapon, because for your night shoot, if your laser is not pinpoint accurate, right, it will be very hard to see your targets at night and shoot the targets down if your laser is not working. Alright? So next thing is, what kind of impression you give your commanders. Personally for me, right, I rarely interacted with my sergeant or my sir, so I really didn't know, like I didn't really felt like, you know, it really played a big part into getting to command school. But I believe, right, that forming an impression affects your likelihood of getting into command school. Alright, because I can imagine if you didn't form any impression, the officer doesn't even know you, then he wouldn't even put you up to go into command school, correct? So there must be some sort of impression on this person, right? So for me, my advice is, don't wayang or suck up to them. You just be yourself, display your qualities, your capabilities as frequently as possible to everyone around you, okay? Try to uphold correct values, you know, be yourself with your section mates, your platoon mates, and they'll gradually look up to you. And when they do, right, your sir, your commanders, your sergeants will start to recognize you and notice you. And then I believe from there they'll form an impression of you, and you know, they'll most probably put you up for command school or even OCS. Yeah. So these are some of the key things that I believe, right, would drastically increase your chances into getting into command school. So if this video has helped, you know, please like, subscribe, and let me know where you are posted to. And if you guys have even more insights on what are things that will affect your chances of getting command school, I would love to know down below in the comments. So stay tuned till next time.